we have obtained coffee, which somehow really does actually help make the game more bearable. The controller has turned off. Is this going to become a nightmare, or are we good?
That hasn't been a problem for a while. There you go.
There we go. All right.
I like coffee, but it doesn't have a calming effect for me. It's like a dice roll whether it'll do that thing where I just have a buzzing in my brain and then can't like go back down.
Is there new You've Got Mail? Is there new Onism?
Could be. I hope they label it. Yeah, it's literally in your favorites.
I guess
it was literally in our favorites menu. Hail mail from Missing Person at Axe Studios, which is the name of the company.
Yeah. I really wish that the kerning was better. It's actually driving me crazy. The font is so inconsistent.
The spacing is very weird. They can't make up their mind whether or not these posts are word wrapped. All these posts look like they were made in the old version of Notepad and then copy pasted into the code. And they were just like eyeballing where to end the right margin of all the pages.
All right.
So I guess all those have updates, right? Oh, that's a bunch of.
So these are all the ones that have already been read.
Yeah, old BBS forum like markings.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember the voices we gave characters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Different day.
Reaction nod. Sammy Pak or Park. 21, missing and a thief. She stole my heart. Insert missing woman poster. Interestingly enough, I saw this missing persons ad this morning. I scanned it in. Didn't he say he looked on the site and there explicitly weren't any missing person ads?
He said he went. There wasn't any missing person stuff in the newspaper.
In Frankton, gotcha. I scanned it in. Sorry for the potato quality. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you mofos will surely do so. But is this not the Asian girl from the elevator video? Dim plus horny. They all look the same, so I can't be certain. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Same glasses, same hair. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's her. So now we know her age, her weight, any other details? Where was this printed? Where did you find it? Seriously, don't just post this without the backstory. My bad. We have a newspaper in my town, the Frankview Daily Journal. Is this... Didn't the other guy say he looked in the newspaper though? And this is a newspaper.
He said the newspaper did not report a missing person.
And they were inserted into all the papers.
Uh-huh.
Basically, that's the entire story. I woke up, went to work at the 777, opened up the paper, and this beauty fell out.
I overcame my social awkwardness and I called the number. This is what I found out. She was an intern of some low-level employee at a Korean news network. She recently relocated to Easton to work there. She English is great, but she wasn't born here. She went to an international school of some sort and moved to the US of A in 1992. She's been missing since April 4th. As far as I can tell, though, through the thick accent of the guy who answered the phone, she at her second day of work when she disappeared. I asked him about the video and he didn't know anything about it.
I had my money on her being Chinese. Something smells fishy. Jesus Christ.
What's fishy? About being Chinese or not being Chinese?
I don't know. I think it's just this guy being racist.
Why write a character's role isn't to be a character who happens to be racist, but just comes in to say one racist sentence at a time? That's his entire personality. Let me get this straight. She goes to work and vanished? That's it? Does anyone know if she got to work? Was she out on an errand? Come the fuck on, Bear's Necessity. There has to be more to the story than that. I AOL'd her name. I don't think that was ever a thing.
I don't think we said AOL'd in the same way that people verb Google.
Yeah, no. I don't. And all I find is the Onism post. They have to put AOL in the credits now on that one page.
Yep.
Call the number yourself if you don't believe me, asshole.
Well, as 8 Mallet has obviously bitched out and now called them, but I did. And what Bears says seems to be pretty on point. She left for work, got to work, and somewhere in the middle of the day, people realized she wasn't at her desk. They figured she left during lunch and never came back. Anyone here speak Korean feel like giving her work a call? Apparently, she worked for the KNN. It literally stands for Korean News Network. Creative, right?
A Paranil sounds like a pill.
It does.
A Paranil. A paranoia may cause erectile dysfunction and sudden death. Just a man boys with a views of the day of Goofy being like, listen here, you little shit.
Exactly.
I'm a Navy SEAL, and I'm going to ask this kid at school to see if he'll do it. I'm pretty sure he's Korean, but he's kind of awkward.
Let us know what happens. Any update on this?
We had time later. It's the same day. No go. He said no. Anyone else?
I'm new to Onism, and I'm pretty surprised by some of this stuff on here. A friend of mine asks me to look at this and see if I could help. I called KNN and no one would talk to me. They said if I had any information about Semi-Pak to call the hotline that her uncle set up. So I called him and I found out a little bit more about her. Apparently she's a huge dog lover. That she has a dog named Ernst. Ernst. Anyway, her position at the KNN was basically clerical. Clerical?
Clerical?
Paperwork, photocopies, crap like that. Apparently her mom is really ill.
It's really the unexpected exclamation point that makes Ernst even funnier. Like, why is it? Why'd you write it like that? That's the only exclamation point.
Do you think the explanation point is part of the dog's name?
Yeah.
Ernst.
Ernst anyway is his full name. So let's take this from the beginning. Semi-Pak. I swear they said Park at some point when they voiced that, but I'm not sure. I believe. Yeah.
Well, so Pak is. It's all the same. So in Korean, you can Romanize names like a bunch of different ways, and Pak is one of the ways that Park is Romanized. So it is Park, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, Semi-Pak gets a job at KNN in Easton and works there for 2 days. Somewhere on her second day, she disappears and people think she quit on her lunch break or something. That, and she has a dog named Ernst. Yeah. Great. Mystery solved, Onism. We did it.
We need to find a way to get people at KNN to tell us what they say that day. Did anyone eat lunch with her? Is there a log of who comes in and out of the building? Clearly there has to be some sort of details as to where that elevator video was filmed. First things first, does anyone know how many floors in the KNN building is? Is it possible it was filmed there? Since we know for a fact that she made it to work on April 4th, my money is on the video being filmed there. Imperfect Picker, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know why the text just goes off the screen.
Yeah. Imperfect Picket, any chance you can call them again and ask how many floors their building has, or even if it has an elevator? Imperfect Picket? Bueller.
Original joke.
Yeah.
See, that's word wrapped correctly.
Yep.
So I don't know what's happening with the other ones.
I don't know.
Typical Onism users makes a compelling post and then disappears. I called KNN it's the same day, you fucks. Yeah. It's been like an hour. These posts weren't here yesterday.
Yeah.
No one wanted to talk to me, so I looked up the address and found out there is a toy store across from KNN. I called the toy store, capitalized. First time with first capitalized, this one's all capitalized. And they said that KNN is only bi-level, so it leaves me wondering if they'd have an elevator at all.
Bear's Necessity makes an interesting point about whether or not there's an elevator or not on a bi-level building, and the answer, of course, is yes. You can't run an S-class corporation in the US and not have a wheelchair-accessible floor. You don't... So even if the video wasn't taken at KNN, they likely do have an elevator because of the Americans with Disabilities Act or whatever. Was that in place? I guess it was in 1999.
I can Google it while you keep going.
I was thinking 1989.
Yeah.
But that's not right. But also, how can you be an S-class corp? This is like a small Korean news network in the United States? So
yeah, wait.
How is it an S-class corporation? Lastly, look at the video. There's clearly more than 2 floor options. If it was at the KNN, there would only be a first and second floor button, maybe a B1. But there are at least 6 floor buttons in this video, so I think we can rule the KNN building out at the filming location for the video. That's actually smart. That's good. That's actually good internet detective stuff. There needs to be more of that.
Michael's the smart boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to read a fun little conversation about their interesting little breakdown of this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, for the audience, we're not criticizing the typos as a flaw with the game. We get that they're supposed to be dumb internet posts that are written wrong on purpose. It's just the kerning and the margins are weird.
They are weird.
genuinely,
It's
and
very
that's different.
inconsistent. Yeah.
Great points. Okay, so if it's not the KNN building, are there any other locations within walking or taxi that she could be in? I wish we knew what time she left the KNN building.
The timestamp on the video is nonsensical, so that doesn't even help us. I have no idea what it's counting. Seconds, days, years? Why are there so many digits?
Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. I want to point out, because it's... So this is my personal gripe with many video games, not just this. There are AAA video games that make this exact mistake.
Yeah.
I think that's a consistent thing with Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Outer Worlds. They have emails that you read very consistently for lore, but they did not agree across all their writing what the formatting of the emails would be, particularly what order they go in as far as like which ones are replies to which as a continuous scroll.
Oh, yeah,
they'll
yeah.
be in the wrong vertical order, and it won't be consistent from one computer to another in the same game. It drives you crazy, 'cause I'm like, what order do I read these in? Just like, I'll learn the way, but there should be a way.
Should I go bottom up or top down? Or
in a similar way, this game is obviously the kerning and the formatting, but like they just forget and remember sometimes whether or not there's a reply format, like on Reddit and whatnot. So like that whole thread had no replies in it.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's no reason for them to have replies. It's a forum. They didn't have indented replies on any of the forums I used in the 90s, at least. But I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
But you got to pick one of those formats for all these messages, and they keep losing their formatting. It's just really strange.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't know. I don't get the brain that is dedicated enough to make a whole video game, but then when they do this stuff, they don't like pick up on those details and think about that.
Well, it's interesting because the game wants to be this accurate depiction of 1999, and it's using like BBS forums, this is pre-99 forum behavior, by the way. Like we had PHP, I think, at this point. Like people were. I was browsing like Neopets forums and like stuff like this, like around this time.
I had a forum signature banner.
Exactly, like forum signatures, quote posts, like all that stuff like existed around now. But regardless of that, like these kinds of sites existed. But I think one of the weird things is that if you're trying to be an accurate Hypnospace Outlaw style look at like the old internet, one of the rules of the old internet is that like things actually were like overly rigid. Like the margins on a page are like hard to actually change, and like you could go to lots of different websites and you would encounter websites that like didn't have word wrap, but like in this particular instance it feels more like sloppy, like a sloppy artistic work than it does like an actual accurate depiction of what the internet was like back then, even though it seems to be trying so hard to do that.
Yeah, like I'm reflexively being like, maybe the joke is that Michael's bad at coding, so his website's bad and the margins are inconsistent and it breaks. But I'm like, that would imply that everyone's manually ending all of their lines every post that they make, and none of them are coded in the website, and everyone's doing this manually. And then you'd expect them to be more inconsistent instead of that. So I don't think that the implication is that all the people on this forum are manually hitting enter over and over again to make sure that it fits the website or something.
Like, again, another weird thing about this game is that it's called Y2K, a postmodern RPG, right? But we've already talked about how, like, one, postmodern probably isn't the right word to describe it, but also, like, the Y2K stylings of this is really weird because, like, again, like, the Elisa Lam stuff, that got popular on the internet in, like, 2005. Like, it wasn't,
it's anachronistic to the phenomenon.
It's anachronistic to the phenomenon. But then you go online in the game and like the depiction of the internet is anachronistic to what the internet was at the time. So it's like it creates this like weird sense of like this game is called Y2K, but I don't know if the people who made it actually were on the internet in Y2K. So this is like how I will frequently like talk to young people and they'll see like screenshots from like a PS2 game and they'll be like, what is this, from the PlayStation 1 or like a GameCube game? They'll be like, this looks like a PS1 game, and I'm like,
when like if you lived it, those aren't even mistakable for each other because the level of fidelity changes so dramatic.
Drastic.
Like it's not trying to tell like PS4 and 5 apart. It's like No, there was 10,000 times as many polygons.
You can literally tell just by how the characters are moving.
Yeah. People didn't have faces on the PS1.
Yeah, exactly. or someone will, this happens with people that I hang out with. It's just like, people who are younger than me who haven't ever played these kinds of games, they don't know. They'll see like something that is very clearly from the N64. Mm-hmm. The N64 looks extremely specific.
Yeah, because stuff was so hardware dependent back then that each console had its own identity to how the visuals rendered, and they were kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and they'll be like, man, PS2 graphics are so bad. And I'm like, how could you ever think this is from the
64
PS2?
had its like smoothing and its fog, and the PS1 had its like texture jitter and stuff. There was no crossover with those things. Like those were separate, weird
looked
elements.
Extremely unique.
Yeah,
so
I miss that era a lot.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Just, also, games were made in 9 months, and they would change the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of taking 4 years to be the same thing as this thing it's a sequel to.
So it's just fascinating. It's just really weird because again, it boggles the mind. It pushes the credibility of the
just
game.
On a base level, there's just a question of like, if your entire game is kind of inspired by a very specific phenomenon that happened.
Yep.
And then you want to make it a period piece. Why wouldn't you make it a period piece to when that phenomenon happened?
Yes.
Why would you set it to a decade earlier, unrelated to the phenomenon, just arbitrarily?
But I mean, like, even the other thing here is like, this seems to be so inspired by like ARGs and like 4chan and that era of the internet. And it's not like Final Fantasy VII. Like, this is another thing. People don't remember that nowadays, because the console life cycle is so much longer now, people think like, oh, the Xbox 360 is retro. And the reason why they feel that is because there's no backwards compatibility, right? Like, you can't, it's hard to play a PS3 game if you grew up with a PS4. But back in the old era, when you had the PS2, people still like rented and bought PS1 games because it was backwards compatible. So we went like generations playing things cross-generationally. So a lot of people who grew up in the 2000s, who were posting on these 4chan boards, were still engaging with the monoculture of the 90s well into the 2000s because it was still relevant. I was born in 93, and I would say a majority of my functional childhood was in the 2000s, but I like played Final Fantasy VII for the first time probably in like 2002. And like, it wasn't old-fashioned at that point. It was pretty contemporary. Still,
yeah, because only like 5 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And so you see Alex here, and the game is set in 1999 to 2000, and he's walking around with a suitcase with Final Fantasy VII in it. But the game was like only 2 years old at that point. You could easily set this game in 2004, and all of that cultural stuff would still be there because culture didn't move as fast.
If anything, the reverence for Final Fantasy VII is anachronistic because it just came out. So like, we don't know which stuff's going to endure.
Exactly.
So it's if anything, the realistic thing would be to have him be like, man, I fucking love Mischief Maker. Like, just a strange choice. Because like a real nerd would have like weird personal taste and not just like the most retroactively they wouldn't just like presciently, preemptively like what will be the most popular thing in the future back then. That's like a lack of personality that's based on historicism. It's instead of based on what people are like. It's like, people like a bunch of fun little weird games. You don't just make them retroactively like the most popular thing. That's really boring, actually.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, like FF7 was big when it came out. Ocarina of Time was huge when it came out. But like, the idea of this is like, it's trying so hard to imagine what 1999 was like, but it really comes across like the creators don't know what 1999 was like. They know what 2006 was like. And they're building the 2006 internet and video game culture.
And the 2006 image of 1999.
Yes, exactly.
It makes me want to go back to that conversation they had about games and actually look at the list of games and when they came out and think about whether or not they even make sense as a conversation. Because Michael's like, I don't even know if I'd be the same person without those games. And I'm like, when did those come out?
I think
Like, what? How old are you?
I mean, I'm thinking about those games like Lufia 2. He said Chrono Trigger. Obviously, Trigger was 96. I want to say, like, or maybe 95. I think 95. Maybe 94. Early 90s, early mid 90s.
They have to be at least kind of old, otherwise they couldn't have changed you as a person. I know that high schoolers suck and they think that their life's really important and changing dramatically every 2 years, but like...
The other thing too, though, is that he's like talking about using a digital camera and how that's all fancy and new, but like also in 2007, when I was in 8th grade, they gave us like MacBooks in school, like crappy MacBooks, little white, plastic MacBooks, and then we just all installed emulators and played Chrono Trigger on them. Like, it wasn't like, that's not anachronistic to do that. So why is it pushing it back? Why is the time frame like this? I don't understand it. Is it just because they really liked Earthbound and they want it to be set in like 90s Americana? I'm not sure.
Because Earthbound's set in the 90s, right?
Yeah. Earthbound is sent just contemporarily when it came out.
It might not have any more thought than just the idea that they wanted the game to ultimately count down to Y2K.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's a fun milestone in life. Remember that?
Yeah.
We'll have the game have the thing be building to Y2K.
Yeah.
And that might have been the whole thought process.
That's fair, yeah. So, my mother's name is Kyung Soo, and she is mentally handicapped. She suffers from bipolar 1 disorder, showing signs of being schizophrenic, and has been very difficult to live with. When I was born, my father worked his hardest to give me a normal life, even without a normal mom.
I hate the scrolling so much.
Yeah, I do too. When I was 6, he left us because it was too much for him. I had a younger brother, but he died in his crib. After that, mom went even further off the deep end. Finally, my uncle insisted we put her in a home. Doing so was the hardest thing I ever did. I took a job at the KNN after my friend Sang Chui recommended me for an entry-level position. I took it... Yeah, you already said that. I took it and got a small apartment in Easton. After one day there, I felt something growing inside of me that I had been worrying about. Voices bouncing around inside my head like ping pong balls. I left work and returned to my apartment. My roommate was angry at me because apparently I'd put 9-volt batteries into his soup that morning. We got into a huge fight. It was so loud between our yelling and the sound of the voices in my head. I got back into the elevator. I do not want to be found. Please stop looking for me. Semi-human.
Semi-human. Saying that the voices are bouncing around in your head like a ping pong ball just gives the evocative image of like them having like the Doppler effect to their audio. Like, what?
They sound like a peak when you use your mouse back and forth and peak. Pronunciation of semi-Pak. Does anyone know how the hell you say the elevator's girl's name? Pak kind of sounds like park, but the K gets really quiet. I think I went to school with the park, and she said it like park. Semi is probably supposed to be said like Sem-E. Probably why she goes by Sammy. A lot of people with weird foreign names usually try to make them sound normal.
Jesus Christ.
Don't need to hear that. New details on Semi-Pak.
Just no effort to just think about your language at all.
Just brutal. Accurate to the internet, but brutal.
Yeah.
Last night I couldn't sleep, so I was channel surfing and I came across the KNN. Briefly, they showed the missing persons ad for Semi-Pak. Now, I don't speak Korean, so I don't really know what was said, but they showed what appeared to be a timeline. It said 9:09 a.m., let's assume this is when she got to work, and 1:12 p.m. Maybe this is when she left the building? Anyone know if Semi had a car or a license?
Interesting. I didn't catch this, but I've found myself watching the KNN lately, hoping they'd show something about her. Good question about her driving, though. If she did drive, and we could figure out the timestamp, then we could figure out what building that video was taken in. Say she leaves at 1:12 p.m. and the footage is taken at 12 p.m., just throwing out random times. Then we can find out which buildings within, at most, an hour's drive have elevators and so on. Alternatively, if anyone can look into the Easton bus schedule, we can figure out where she could have bused to. My understanding of the KNN is that they're on a 2-lane highway near the university, but not much else. So maybe we're onto something. Hey, you're getting your wish.
Yeah,
people are
this
trying
is
to investigate.
Good. The investigation part is cool. I called her uncle again, and he said that she didn't drive. So we now have 3 ways she could have gotten to the building: taxi, bus, or walking. Doing a quick scan of the Easton bus schedules, it's pretty obvious that she didn't take a bus. The buses there run every hour. That's New Jersey for you. Anyway, the bus goes to... Wow, the idea of a Korean news network in New Jersey is crazy. Anyway, the bus goes to 2 places: the university at Easton and a shopping mall. Then they continue on to a few other towns, but mostly it heads out of state or into the city. However, getting out of the state or to the city would take a while. I really wish we could figure out that fucking timestamp.
It's fun it's always interesting to hear this stuff just because you get a hint of like, it's always satisfying to hear someone breaking down what information can be gleaned when it feels like a helpless thing and like, and like how much you can do. Also always alarming when you're somebody who's doxable, where you're like, see, this is why Jenny Nicholson sets all of her tweets to delay by 1 week so that she's never saying where she currently is.
Yes.
Like, because if you're any kind of public person, you're accidentally giving yourself away information that you can't even process you're giving away, and at that point you just need to be paranoid about all the things you say and do. Yeah. Because anything could, like, Patron asked me to give me to ask me to do a house tour because I just moved here, and I'm like, I don't think I will. Yeah. I don't think I will give you a continuous walk around of the inside of my house, because I feel like that backfires somehow 5 years from now when somebody finds that video and wants me dead. Sure, yeah. Well, I guess that leaves taxis or walking. We've confirmed that there are no large buildings within walking distance, right? I'm thinking of taking a trip out to K&N this weekend to see what I can find out. I'll report back with what I learn in another thread.
I've been thinking about trying to get to the K&N recently. Sammy and I have a lot in common, as I don't have a car or a license either, and now that I've read the post about the bus schedule, I'm even more out of luck than I thought.
I'm not reading that.
Yeah, we don't need to read that.
I don't need to read that.
Now do me a favor and read each word separately from each other so I can cut them out of context and make a hit video.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's favorite mod, the SNES Man 99 here. Imagine using the year 99 as part of your username in the year 99.
Yeah, like what do you do with that? Okay. It's often somebody's like birth year.
Okay, Alex is SNES Man 99, by the way.
Yeah. I got a hint of that because you saw the top of his head when you scroll down.
Yeah.
So this is the post they just made.
And Veriformer
interact with people.
Is definitely Michael. Okay, yeah. Cool. And then Superb Pudding was Sammy, apparently.
I think that was fake.
It might have been fake, but it was pretty accurate.
From the schizophrenic,
yeah. Elevator Girl video looked really similar to the one in an abandoned factory northeast of Frankton. We went to check it out, and surprisingly, the elevator still worked. It only took us down to the basement level. This is where things got really weird. Look at the fractured ground and all the strange hostiles running around. We continued on hoping to find Sammy or a clue of some sort, and this is where things got weird. The star creatures from the Elevator Girl video, yeah, they were down there. We tried to take a few pictures of them and they were completely distorted. But if you look closely, you can see the colors are the same and you can sort of make out its face.
It's extremely clear photo.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is not particularly distorted at all.
What are you talking about?
These are extremely...
That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't understand. The way that he freaked out, like, oh my god, it's so distorted. Yeah. I was expecting to see like The Ring. Yeah. And instead it's like, oh, it's slightly chromatically aberrated, which you wouldn't even see on the digital display of the tiny camera it was on in the moment. What? Honestly, man, if the source was anyone but you, I would think this was another hoax trying to capitalize on the poor missing girl. But I'm intrigued. Do you have the GPS coordinates so I can check this place out myself?
Thanks, Paper Shivers.
Replies are back.
Yeah, thanks, Paper Shivers, for believing us. It was pretty horrifying. Downright scary. I don't know how to figure out GPS coordinates, but I can give you directions. North of Frankton, there's a windmill field thingy that borders Franklin Woods. Enter Franklin Woods from there and head northeast, and the factory is there. Be careful, bring a friend, and maybe a weapon.
Holy shit. I wish I had a car. I need to check this place out.
Holy yucking shit, Donald. Yuck. If anyone sees anything that resembles a star creature, guys, or just any weird stuff happens around your town, PM me or Veriformer, and we'd be happy to check it out. I really want to find Sammy, and I know there is a connection here.
The connection is that the thing's in the same building and supernatural. Yeah. I know there's a connection here between Sammy and the Starman. You know, the Starman that I saw steal Sammy. What? I don't remember if it was clear in this version of the scene, but I showed you the original version of the scene where it's just
they
Sammy,
literally grab her.
Yeah, flanked by Starmen, fly into a weird void, and then she's like, "You said you wouldn't move me again."
All right, mysterious girl with mind powers.
Windaway 87. See, that's a real birth year.
Yeah.
Which means you're only 12. Wait. Wait.
accurate to the internet.
Wait a minute. I'm used to 87, people from 87 being a little older than me, so I was like, yeah, that sounds normal. And then like, wait a minute. This game's set in 1999, when I was 9.
Jesus Christ.
Mysterious ghost sighting.
Oh no.
Main Street, Frankton. Last Tuesday evening, I witnessed her create these rifts in space. Holy shit. Oh, I'm not supposed to swear.
Neat. Yeah, it's just for amount of flowers. Possible dry. What the fuck? You take these Winway 87? Details, 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 details.
I was out for my usual late night stroll when I spotted a mysterious cutie at the distance. Oh, cutie alert, says the 12-year-old. I considered approaching, but I was afraid of scaring her as it was so late. It was almost 7 p.m. Wonderful ladies of the night tend to be scared by masculine silhouettes walking from midnight fog at 7 p.m. She was near the Frankton arcade. I reached out and my heart was in my throat. She reached her hands and opened those portals. I had my camera on me and I took pictures. It was pretty intense.
Insanity. Where's Frankton? Seems like some crazy stuff is happening there. I know I've seen this girl before. Are you sure she isn't famous? Like a pop star or something? Are these movie stills?
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Please let these be real. Who is this mysterious woman? What are those portals? Find out more in the next episode of Onism 1999. Dun dun dun. How did I break the right margin of the page? That wasn't even a long word, which is how you did that.
A bit more info report. I returned to the arcade last night and saw a mysterious cutie taking out the trash. I approached her and I was about to say something when I saw her talking to a cat. And as you guys know, conversations with pets are precious and private, so I squatted behind a garbage can and shoved my fingers in my ears. I became distracted by a piece of mold growing in the cracks between the street asphalt because of my undiagnosed ADHD, and when I was done studying it, I returned my gaze to the mysterious cutie and she was gone. All that remained was the cat. It is impossible this girl could transform into a cat? Mysterious arcade mind portal opening by day, adorable and lovable feline by night?
Discuss. You saw her independent of the cat. Also, she just works there all day.
Literally all day.
An entire conspiracy board when they have to talk to one woman who is in a fixed location all day and is paid to talk to you.
Oh god.
This is my favorite part of the game. Is fucking Onism.
I do like the internet forum. It is fun. No, shut up. Shit theory.
So Windway 87, are you 12? Where are your parents? Max? Where exactly did you find that connection? Isn't it more likely that she just walked away while you weren't looking, leaving the cat alone?
Yeah. I'm gonna say she didn't turn into a fucking cat.
I'm with Bear's Necessity and Impossible Dry. Seems unlikely to me. These photos, however, are some of the best things I've ever seen on this site. I'm thinking of taking a drive to Frankton to see Mysterious Cutie. Do you have the exact name of the arcade? Or the street address? Jeez, guys, it was just a fucking theory. Oh, I'm not supposed to swear. I don't see you guys proposing anything interesting. Like, I want to propose to her. This is a website about aliens and body snatchers and multiverses, and this is where you draw the line? Girls who transform into animals? This is where the illusion breaks for you? Lol, fuck you guys.
I will say this is Windway's barely disguised fetish, TF fetish, slipping in TF Neko Mimi Hollow Live fetish.
Yeah, they're gonna evolve into a beautiful furry artist one day.
Yeah, she can turn into a cat and is also secretly Elevator Girl, the boogeyman, Sam Squanch. And Jesus Christ, that's a believable theory. I'm going on record to say this shit is photoshopped and not very well done. This site has gone downhill.
How good was Photoshop in 1989?
I love Sam Squanch.
Sam Squanch. I hope your mom gets cancer and you get butt AIDS.
All right.
Okay. It's very insensitive to say in 1999. Once you're done lactating from your own man tits, why don't you do us all a favor and hang yourself, as you're a burden to us all with your shit theories. name says that they're 12. Like, literally neurodivergent and a minor. Was this Windway?
Yeah.
This is the problem with this forum. Everyone is everyone's best friend until they say something slightly against the popular opinion. My theory isn't any crazier than some of this shit on here, but it isn't part of the theory of the week. If I went out of my way to try and tie this girl into elevator girl phenomenon, everyone would be sucking my dick right now, and then they'd be in jail because I'm 12. And just because I like the idea of a girl turning into a cat and it isn't super popular on here, everyone turns and just treats me like shit. You're also antisocial that the only place you interact with other human beings is on Onism. You circle jerk about how great this place is, how accepting and progressive it is. No one cared about that. But the moment you don't love and agree with any theory, you start with the insults. You can all choke on a bag of baby dicks, which I recently had.
Oh no.
There's no 1999 forum that I was proud of being progressive, but this one has open racist on it, so I don't think that's a thing.
Windway87 is such a typical fucking Onism user. You complain about the community, tell us all what's wrong with us, and yet you're part of the very community you hate. If we suck, then you suck. I am very smart.
Yeah, exactly. You participate in society. Nah, I think he's right. Everyone on Onism's a terrible person except for him.
No one uses a tone indicator in 1999.
Sarcastic /S. What? This sort of persecution complex is so fucking Typhlosion here. Typical on here. Get over yourself, Windway. Try taking the dick out of your mouth before trying to speak next time.
Okay, Windway, you're gone. Banned.
Michael sucks.
Isn't it crazy that the kid that gets dogpiled on is the first one to get banned?
Yeah.
When everyone here is like literally calling him slurs.
Michael is a terrible moderator. He just wants to be popular, basically. Which makes him a terrible, terrible moderator. Jesus Christ. The most realistic thing about that is how a discussion was immediately completely derailed by just people getting in a petty argument.
yeah, completely.
Genuinely fun to read. It's just, that's the best writing in the game, probably, honestly.
Yeah, I like that too. Has your sister been around lately? That girl used to be the talk of the town. These days, seems like everyone has forgotten she even existed. Yeah, I forgot your sister existed too because she hasn't been introduced yet. What are you talking about?
Never been mentioned. Might never be mentioned again. Oh my god.
Oh, it's so nice of you to come visit me, dear. Tell me, what's the 411? Oh, your life is so interesting. Come back and visit me soon, dear. Isn't this Michael's house?
Yes.
The fuck?
The caricature of that woman was like, they made her shaped like Stretch Armstrong or something. It's a very wild body.
Do we have any direction? Investigate the mysterious girl at the arcade. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Time for us to meet mysterious Ramona Flowers.
Fuck you, honking at me. Also driving on the sidewalk, you absolute psychopath. The fuck? This shit's unreal.